Basting is done to temporarily hold two or more pieces of fabric together. In order to do a basting stitch, set your sewing machine for the longest straight stitch length possible. On most machines, that's going to be anywhere from a stitch length of 4 to 5 millimeters. If the permanent seam to be sewn is going to be 5/8 of an inch wide, then it's important to do your basting just inside the seam allowance so that once the project is completed, it may not be necessary to remove your basting stitch. In order to sew your seam at a 1/2 inch seam allowance, you can use a post-it note set at the 1/2 inch mark on your needle plate to guide you. In order to baste the two pieces of fabric, place them right or pretty sides together. Be sure to line up the raw edges that are going to be sewn. Place your pins perpendicular to the stitching line. Once pinned, you're going to place the leading edge of your fabric underneath the presser foot and align the seam allowance edge with the edge of your post-it note. Lower the presser foot and simply stitch your seam. Notice I did not backstitch at the beginning, and I'm not going to backstitch at the end of the seam. Once completed, simply raise your presser foot and remove the fabric from the machine. Remove the pins, and your seam has been basted right sides together. For the purpose of this demonstration, I used black thread in the needle and orange thread in the bobbin to illustrate the point that the bobbin thread on a large stitch length is easy to remove. So once the permanent seam has been sewn, if removing the basting stitching is desirable, all you have to do is raise up a bobbin thread and then gently pull, remove the needle thread, and your basting stitches have been removed.